A 6-year-old girl dragged herself through a crowded diner on one leg. Her crutches scraped against the floor. Her eyes were hollow. Her ribs showed through her shirt. She stopped at the first table. "Please, can I sit here?" The mother pulled her children away like the girl carried plague. Second table, "We're busy." Third table, 4 women clutching Bibles. "Where are her parents?" She kept moving, table after table, rejection after rejection, until she stopped in front of a Hell's Angel with prison tattoos and scars across his face. "Please, mister." Everyone else said no. What he discovered next would expose a killer hiding in plain sight. Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. Stone heard it before he saw her. He looked up from his burger. A little girl stood inside the doorway. 6 years old, thin as a wire. Her left leg was gone below the knee, the empty pant leg pinned up and swaying as she balanced on crutches too big for her arms. Her eyes swept the room like a trapped animal looking for escape. She wasn't looking for her parents. She was looking for somewhere to sit. The first booth had a family of 5, father scrolling his phone, mother cutting up pancakes, 3 kids fighting over syrup. The girl limped toward them. "Excuse me," she said, her voice barely carried. "Can I sit with you just for a little while?" The mother's head snapped up. Her eyes traveled down the girl's body, the tangled hair, the dirty jacket, the missing leg. "Brian," she hissed at her husband. He looked up, his face twisted. "Sorry, sweetheart. Family time." "I won't bother you," the girl said quickly. "I promise, I just need to sit down. My leg hurts, and I've been walking for—" I said no. The mother grabbed her children, pulling them closer like the girl carried disease. "Go find your parents," she said. "This isn't appropriate." The girl's shoulders dropped. She turned away. Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. Stone's jaw tightened. Second booth, an elderly couple. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. The girl stopped beside them. "Please," she said, "can I sit here just at the edge?" The old man's eyes met hers for half a second. Then he looked down at his plate like it held the secrets of the universe. "Harold," his wife whispered, "say something." Harold said nothing. "We're waiting for someone, dear," the wife finally managed. They weren't waiting for anyone. The check was already on their table. "Okay," the girl whispered. "Thank you anyway." Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. Third booth, 4 women in Sunday dresses, pearl necklaces, Bibles stacked beside their iced teas, fresh from evening service. The girl approached slowly. "Please," she said, and her voice cracked. "I just need somewhere to sit. I've been walking so long and I'm so tired. Please, I'll be good." The women exchanged looks. One of them, hair sprayed into a helmet, leaned toward the others. "Where are her parents?" she said loudly. "Why is she alone?" This is what happens when people don't take responsibility. Not, "Are you okay?" No. Not, "Do you need help?" Just judgment. "I'm sorry," the girl whispered. "I'm sorry for bothering you." "Find a shelter," another woman said. "There are places for people like you." "People like you." The girl turned away. Her crutch caught on a chair leg. She stumbled, nearly went down, caught herself at the last second. Pain flashed across her face. She stood frozen in the middle of the diner. Everyone staring, no one helping. Then her eyes found Stone. He saw her take in the leather vest, the Hell's Angels patches, the scars crossing his face, the tattoos covering his arms. He was exactly what mothers warned their children about. But those mothers had already turned her away. She made her choice. Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. She crossed the distance between them. Each step cost her something she couldn't afford. She stopped at his table. "Please, mister," she said, and her voice broke. "Can I sit here?" Everyone else said no. Stone pushed out the chair with his boot. "Yeah, sweetheart. Sit down." Relief flooded her face. She moved toward the chair. Her leg gave out. She wobbled. Her crutches clattered to the floor. Stone was out of his seat before they stopped falling. He caught her under the arm, steadied her, lowered her gently into the chair. She weighed nothing, like a bird with broken wings. He picked up the crutches, leaned them against the wall, and sat back down. That's when he saw it. Yellow bruises spreading across her cheekbone. Old, maybe a week. And on her upper arm where her sleeve had ridden up, purple marks circling the pale skin. Fingerprints, adult-sized fingerprints wrapped around a child's arm. Stone's hands curled into fists under the table. What's your name? He asked softly. Ember. You hungry Ember. Her eyes went wide, like the question was a trap. I don't have any money, she said quickly. I'm not trying to get anything. I can leave if you want. I don't want to be a bother. I'm sorry. I'm really… Ember, she stopped. I asked if you were hungry, not if you could pay. She stared at him, searching for the catch, the trick. Yes, she finally whispered. I'm really hungry. Stone flagged down the waitress. Marie, grilled cheese fries, hot chocolate, extra whip and cream. Keep them coming. Marie glanced at the girl, at the bruises, at the hollow cheeks. Her expression shifted. Coming right up, honey, she said softly and disappeared. Stone turned back to Ember. When's the last time you ate? She looked down at her hands. I don't remember. Yesterday, she shook her head. Day before, she shook her head again. Stone felt ice forming in his chest. Ember, how long? 4 days, she whispered. Maybe 5. I lose count sometimes. Why? She didn't answer. Ember, why haven't you eaten in 5 days? The refrigerator has a lock on it, she said quietly. So do the cabinets. Derek says food costs money. He says I'm too expensive already. Derek, my stepdad. The food arrived. Golden grilled cheese, crispy fries, hot chocolate with a mountain of whipped cream. Ember stared at it like it might vanish. Go ahead, Stone said. It's yours. She grabbed the sandwich with both hands and bit into it like she was afraid someone would take it away. Because she was. She ate like a starving animal, shoving bites in too fast to chew. Eyes darting up every few seconds to make sure Stone was still there. He'd seen this kind of hunger before. In Afghanistan, in the faces of children who'd lost everything. He never thought he'd see it in a diner in Colorado. Slow down, he said gently. Nobody's taking it away. There's more coming. She slowed. Barely. Ember, he said, those bruises on your face, on your arm. Did Derek do that? She flinched. I fell, she said automatically. I fall a lot because of my leg. The crutches are hard and Ember. She stopped. Those marks on your arm are fingerprints. Someone grabbed you. Hard. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Please don't make me go back, she whispered. Please, I'll be good. I'll be so good. I won't eat much. I'll sleep outside. Just please don't make me go back there. Please. Oh. Stone's chest cracked open. Hey, look at me. She raised her eyes, terror in every line of her face. Nobody's making you go anywhere. You hear me? You're safe here, right now. You're safe, you go. You don't understand, she sobbed. He'll find me. He always finds me. And when he does, then he'll go through me first. And trust me, Ember, he doesn't want to do that. She stared at him through her tears. Why are you helping me? You don't even know me. Because you needed help, and I was here. That's reason enough. But everyone else made the wrong choice. That's on them, not on you. He reached across the table and took her small hand in his. Her fingers were ice cold, trembling. So fragile he could have crushed them without trying. He held them like they were made of glass. What happened to your leg, Ember? She went very still. There was an accident. What kind of accident? Derek was backing up his truck in the driveway. I was playing behind it. He didn't see me. Her voice had gone flat, mechanical, rehearsed. That's what he told everyone. He didn't see me. The doctors took your leg. At the hospital, I was there for a long time. Derek came every day, brought flowers, held my hand, cried. She swallowed hard. All the nurses said how wonderful he was, what a devoted stepfather, how lucky I was. But when I came home, everything changed. Changed how? He moved me to a room in the back of the house. It's not really a room. It used to be for storage. There's a window, but he painted it black so no light comes in. Stone's grip on her hand tightened. There's a lock on the door, she continued. On the outside, he locks me in at night, sometimes during the day too. The refrigerator, the cabinets, all locked. He decides when I eat. He says I don't deserve food because I'm bad. He says I make too much noise with my crutches. He says I breathe too loud. Ember. He hits me when I make mistakes, when I drop something or take too long. He says Mom spoiled me. He says I'm just a burden. He says the world would be better off without me. The words poured out of her now, a dam breaking. He says I'm worth more dead than alive, she whispered. I heard him on the phone. He was laughing. He said he took out a policy, $300,000. He said another accident and nobody would question it. Just a crippled orphan who couldn't get out of the way fast enough. Stone stopped breathing. Say that again. He wants to kill me, Ember said, her voice barely audible. For the insurance money. He's just waiting for the right time. I heard him say it. I wasn't supposed to hear, but I did, and now he knows I know, and that's why I ran. That's why I'm here. Because if I go back, he's going to kill me. And nobody will care, because nobody cares about crippled orphans. Stone stared at this broken 6-year-old girl with her tangled hair and her missing leg and her bruises that told stories no child should ever have to tell. And something shifted inside him. Something old and hard that he'd kept locked away for years. It wasn't rage. Rage was hot and stupid and made men do things they regretted. This was colder, cleaner, more focused. This was purpose. Ember, he said quietly, I need you to listen to me very carefully. She looked up at Ian, tears still streaming. You're not going back to that house. Not tonight. Not ever. Do you understand? But how I have friends, a lot of them, and when I call them, they come. No questions asked. What kind of friends? Stone glanced at his vest, at the patches that marked him as something most people feared. The kind that don't let monsters hurt children, he said. The kind that make monsters disappear. Ember's eyes went wide. Are you going to hurt him? I'm going to make sure he never hurts you again, whatever that takes. But he's an adult. He has a job. Everyone believes him. The police came once and they believed him and they left and then She couldn't finish. The police aren't my friends. My friends don't need warrants. My friends don't need evidence. My friends just need a name and an address and a reason. He pulled out his phone. You gave me the reason, Ember. Now give me the address. She hesitated. He'll know I told. He won't do anything ever again. I promise you. She stared at him for a long moment. 412 Maple Street, she whispered. Stone typed out a message to Brick. Broken wagon, now, bring everyone. Child abuse case. Stepfather planning to kill her for insurance. 412 Maple Street? Name is Derek. This is not a drill. He hit send. What happens now? Ember asked. Now you eat your fries. They're getting cold. That's it. For you, that's it. You eat. You rest. You let the grown-ups handle the rest. But, Ember, you've been carrying this alone for 8 months. You ran away on one leg in the middle of winter to escape a man who wants to kill you. You've done enough, more than enough. It's time to let someone else carry the weight for a while. Her lower lip trembled. I don't know how to do that. I know, but you're going to learn, starting right now. Marie appeared with another grilled cheese and more hot chocolate. Figured she could use seconds, she said, setting them down. Kitchen's making her some soup too, on the house. Thanks, Marie. Marie looked at Stone, then at Ember, then back at Stone. You need anything else, you holler, and I mean anything. I will. She disappeared again. Ember picked up a fry, but she didn't eat it. She just held it. Stone, yeah. What if your friends can't stop them? What if he gets away with it? What if nobody believes me again? My friends don't let people get away with things, and I believe you, that's enough. How do you know it's enough? Stone leaned back in his chair. Because I've been where you are, Ember. Not the same situation, but the same feeling. That feeling like the whole world is against you and nobody's coming to help and you're so tired of fighting alone that you almost want to give up. Her eyes locked on his. What happened? Someone showed up when I least expected it, when I'd stopped believing anyone would, and they didn't ask what I could give them. They just helped because I needed it and they could. Who thought the men you're about to meet, my brothers. Brothers. Not by blood, by choice. That's the strongest kind. Ember looked down at the table. I don't have brothers, she said quietly. I don't have anyone. You have me. She looked up sharply. You just met me. Doesn't matter. How can it not matter? You don't know anything about me. I know you're brave. I know you're strong. I know you've survived things that would break most adults. And I know you deserve better than what you've gotten. Derek says I don't deserve anything. Derek is a monster wearing a man's face. His opinion doesn't count. But, no buts. You're 6 years old, Ember. 6. You should be worried about homework and cartoons and whether your best friend is going to sit with you at lunch, not whether your stepdad is going to murder you for insurance money. Her face crumpled. I don't have a best friend, she said. I don't go to school anymore. Derek pulled me out. He said it was too expensive. He said I couldn't learn anything anyway. He said, I don't care what he said. I care about what's true. And the truth is you're smart enough to escape from a locked room and make it across town on one leg and find the one person in a crowded diner who would actually help you. That's not stupid, Ember. That's survival. I didn't find you. You were the only one left. Same thing. It's not. It is. Because you didn't give up. You kept going. Table after table, rejection after rejection. You kept going until you found someone who said yes. That's strength, Ember. Real strength. The kind that matters. She was crying again. But differently now, not fear. Something else. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before. Then everybody else was wrong. The bell above the door chimed. Stone looked up. Brick walked in. 52 years old. Gray beard. Eyes like chips of ice. President's patch on his vest. Behind him came Tank. Diesel. Razor. Jax. Tommy. 6 men built like they'd been carved from granite. Faces that had seen the wrong end of too many fights. Hands that had done things polite society pretended didn't happen. They spread out through the diner without a word, taking positions, blocking exits, making the space theirs. The other customers went very quiet. The family of 5, the elderly couple, the church women, all of them shrinking back, suddenly afraid of the men they'd always been taught to fear. Brick walked straight to Stone's table. His eyes went to Ember, to the bruises on her face, to the missing leg, to the tears still wet on her cheeks. His jaw tightened. This her, yeah. Brick crouched down to Ember's level. His voice when he spoke was surprisingly gentle. Hey there, little one. My name's Brick. I'm a friend of Stone's. He tells me you've been having a hard time. Ember looked at Stone. He nodded. Yes, sir, she whispered. None of that sir stuff. Just Brick. He smiled. It transformed his whole face. You like grilled cheese? Yes. Me too. Best thing on the menu here. Stone treats you fine. He's the only one who would let me sit down. Brick's eyes went cold for just a second. Is that so? He stood up and looked around the diner. At the family, the elderly couple, the church women. A lot of good Christians in here tonight. A lot of fine, upstanding citizens. Nobody met his gaze. Funny how that works, Brick continued. Funny how the people who talk the most about charity and kindness are usually the first to turn away a child in need. The woman with the helmet hair stood up. Now see here. Sit down. She sat. Brick turned back to Stone. Tell me everything. Stone told him. The starvation, the locked room, the bruises, the accident that took her leg, the insurance policy, the overheard phone call. With each detail, Brick's expression grew darker. When Stone finished, the diner was dead silent. 412 Maple Street, Brick said. Yeah. Brick pulled out his phone, made a call. It's me. I need everything you can find on a Derek at 412 Maple Street. Millbrook. Yeah. Everything. Employment finances, insurance policies, the works. Call me back in the 20s. He hung up. We're not waiting 20 minutes to move on this, Stone said. No, we're not. Brick looked at the other brothers. Tank, Diesel, you're on the house. Don't go in. Just watch. Nobody leaves, nobody enters until we know more. Razor Jacks canvassed the neighborhood. Quiet. I want to know if anyone else knows anything about this guy. The men nodded and headed for the door. What about me? Tommy asked. You stay here. Watch the girl. Anyone comes through that door that isn't one of us, you call me immediately. Got it. Brick crouched down to Ember's level again. Ember, I know this is scary. A lot of big strangers showing up all at once. But I need you to trust us. Can you do that? She looked at Stone. He trusts you, she said quietly. So I trust you. Brick smiled. Smart girl. Stone a word. They stepped away from the table. Not far, just enough for privacy. This is bad, Brick said, his voice low. I know. If what she's saying is true, it's true. Look at her, Brick. Look at those bruises. Look at how she eats. That kid hasn't been fed properly in months. I believe you. That's not what I mean. Brick's eyes were hard. If there's an insurance policy and a plan to kill her, this isn't just abuse. This is premeditated murder. We can't handle this the usual way. Why not? Because if we touch this guy and he ends up dead or disappeared, the first place cops look is the kid's known associates, which as of tonight is us. So we let him live. I didn't say that. Brick's smile had no warmth in it. I said we can't handle it the usual way. We need documentation, witnesses, a paper trail, something that makes sure when this piece of garbage goes down, he stays down. Legal. Since when do we care about legal? Since that little girl needs someone to take care of her after this is over. And that someone isn't going to be allowed anywhere near her if he's sitting in prison for murder. Stone went still. What are you saying? I'm saying she needs more than revenge, Stone. She needs a home. She needs stability. She needs someone who's going to be there for her tomorrow and next week and next year. Is that you? Stone looked back at the table, at Ember, small and broken, clutching her hot chocolate like a lifeline. Yeah, he said quietly. That's me. Then we do this right. We do it clean. We make sure that monster never sees daylight again, and we make sure you're still standing when it's over to pick up the pieces. Stone nodded slowly. Okay, what do you need? Time, information, and that little girl's trust. Brick glanced at Ember. She talked to you. She opened up. That's rare. Usually takes months to get an abused kid to share details like that. She's desperate. She's more than desperate. She saw something in you, Stone, something that made her feel safe enough to tell the truth. Don't waste that. I won't. Brick's phone buzzed. He answered it, listened, his expression growing darker with every second. You're sure? No, that's good. That's exactly what we need. Send it to me. Everything. He hung up. Well, Derek Manning, 38 years old, works as a claims adjuster for Western Life Insurance. Guess what kind of claim? Life insurance. Give the man a prize. He knows exactly how the system works, what gets paid out, what doesn't, how to make an accident look like an accident. Stone's blood went cold. And the truck. The truck. He knew what he was doing, Stone. He knew exactly how to run over that kid and make it look like an accident. He planned it from the beginning. My guy pulled the marriage records. Derek married Ember's mother 14 months ago. 6 months later, she dies of cancer. 2 months after that, he takes out a $300,000 policy on the kid. That's not suspicious at all. It gets better. He's behind on payments for the house. Credit cards maxed. 3 months behind on his truck. A gambling problem that's gotten worse since the wife died. He needs the money. He's drowning. And that little girl over there is his life raft. Stone's hands curled into fists. We end this tonight. We end this tonight, Brick agreed. But we end it right. I want that paperwork. I want those neighbors. I want every piece of evidence we can find that proves what he's been doing to her. And then, Brick's eyes went flat. And then we make a phone call to some friends in the DA's office. And Derek Manning spends the rest of his miserable life in a cell. That's not enough. It will be. Trust me. You know what happens to child killers in prison? Stone did know. He nodded slowly. Okay, let's do it. They walked back to the table. Ember looked up at them, fear and hope battling in her eyes. What happens now? She asked. Stone sat down across from her. Now we make sure Derek never hurts anyone again. How? You let us worry about that. All you have to do is stay here, stay safe, eat your food. I'm not hungry anymore. Then drink your hot chocolate. It's getting cold. She picked up the mug with trembling hands. Stone, yeah. Is it really going to be okay? He reached across the table and took her hand again. Yeah, Ember, it's really going to be okay. Promise. Promise. While outside the snow kept falling. Inside the diner stayed quiet. The other customers ate their meals in silence, afraid to draw attention, afraid to become part of whatever was happening in the corner booth. 20 minutes later, Brick's phone buzzed again. He read the message, then looked at Stone. Tank and Diesel were at the house. Derek's truck is in the driveway. He hasn't left. Does he know she's gone? Front door's wide open, he knows. Stone looked at Ember. Did you leave the door open when you ran? She shook her head. It was closed. I made sure. I didn't want him to know right away. Then he's been out looking, and he came back. Or he's waiting, Brick said grimly, waiting for her to come home. She's not going home. No, she's not. Brick checked his phone again. Razor and Jax are 3 houses down. They've already got 2 neighbors willing to talk. One of them called CPS twice. Nothing happened. That's going in the report. Everything's going in the report. Stone looked down at Ember. She was shaking. Hey, look at me. She looked up. You're safe, you hear me? He can't touch you, not here, not with us. He's going to be so angry, she whispered. When he finds out he's going to be so angry. He said if I ever told anyone. What did he say? Her face went pale. He said he'd make it look like an accident, like with my leg. He said nobody would question it. Just a clumsy, crippled girl who fell down the stairs or drowned in the bathtub or… Ember, stop. She stopped. None of that is going to happen. You're never going back to that house. You're never going to be alone with him again. Whatever he said, whatever he threatened, it doesn't matter anymore. He's done. How do you know? Because I'm going to make sure of it, me and every single one of my brothers. She looked around the diner, at the men in leather vests positioned at every exit, at Brick standing like a wall between her and the door. Why, she asked, why do you care? You don't even know me. None of you know me. Stone leaned forward. Remember what I said about someone showing up for me when I'd given up? Yeah. These are those people, Ember. Every one of them. And the reason they're here right now isn't because I asked. It's because I told them a little girl needed help. That's all it took. One message, and they dropped everything. But why? Because that's who they are. That's who we are. We take care of our own. But I'm not your own. I'm nobody. Stone's grip on her hand tightened. You're not nobody, Ember. You stopped being nobody the second you sat down at my table. Her eyes filled with tears again. I don't understand. You will. One day you will. The door opened. Cold air swept in. A man walked through. Not one of the brothers. Someone else. Tall, thin, wearing a gray coat and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. He looked around the diner. His gaze landed on Ember, and his smile widened. There you are, he said. I've been looking everywhere for you. Ember's hand went rigid in Stone's grip. That's him, she whispered. That's Derek. Stone didn't move. Brick stepped forward, blocking Derek's path. Can I help you? You can get out of my way, Derek said pleasantly. I'm here to pick up my daughter. Stepdaughter, Stone said from the booth. Derek's eyes shifted to him. Excuse me? She's not your daughter. She's your stepdaughter. Get it right. Derek's smile thinned. I don't know who you are, but this is a family matter. Ember, come here. We're going home. Ember didn't move. Ember, Derek's voice hardened. Now. She's not going anywhere, Stone said. I don't recall asking your opinion. Derek took a step forward. Brick didn't budge. Look, I don't want any trouble. My stepdaughter ran off. She's been having some behavioral issues. I just want to take her home and… What kind of behavioral issues? Derek blinked. What? You said she's having behavioral issues. What kind… That's really none of your business. I'm making it my business. Derek's pleasant mask flickered. Something ugly showed through. Listen here, you piece of biker trash. Careful, Brick said softly. Choose your next words very carefully. Derek looked around the diner, at the leather vests, at the faces that had seen violence and weren't afraid of more. His confidence wavered. I don't know what she told you, he said, but whatever it is, it's not true. She lies. She makes up stories. She's been doing it since her mother died. It's a cry for attention. So the bruises are made up, Stone asked. What bruises? The ones on her face, on her arm. She falls. The crutches are difficult for her, She's still adjusting. She falls in a pattern that leaves adult-sized fingerprints on her arm. Derek went pale. She grabbed herself. She does that sometimes when she has tantrums. And the lock on her bedroom door. How do you... That's for her safety. She wanders at night. I have to... And the padlocks on the refrigerator and cabinets. Derek's mask cracked completely. Who told you that? His voice went sharp. Ember, what did you tell them? She told me the truth, Stone said. All of it, including the phone call. What phone call? The one where you explained how you were going to kill her for the insurance money. The diner went dead silent. Derek's face twisted. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I would never. $300,000, Stone continued. That's the policy. My people already confirmed it. Taken out 2 months after your wife died. You're behind on the house, behind on the truck, credit cards, maxed gambling debts piling up. That little girl is worth more to you dead than alive. This is ridiculous. This is... Derek Manning, as Brick said, claims adjuster for Western Life Insurance. You know exactly how to make a death look accidental. You've probably done it before, haven't you? Help people file fraudulent claims, shown them how to make things look right on paper. Derek's face had gone gray. I want a lawyer. We're not cops. Then you have no right to... We have every right, Stone said, standing up. We have the right to protect a child you've been starving and beating for 8 months. We have the right to make sure you never touch her again. We have the right to stand between a monster and his victim. He stepped around the table. Derek backed up. Stay away from me. Or what you'll call the police. Go ahead. Tell them why you're here. Tell them about the locked room and the padlocked refrigerator and the $300,000 insurance policy on a 6-year-old girl. You can't prove any of this. Watch me. Stone was inches from Derek now, close enough to smell his fear, close enough to feel him trembling. Here's what's going to happen, Stone said quietly. You're going to leave this diner. You're going to go back to your house, and you're going to wait. Wait for what? For the police, the real ones. The ones who are going to show up with warrants and questions and very little patience for men who hurt children. You can't... I'm done talking. Stone grabbed Derek by the collar and shoved him toward the door. Brick stepped aside just enough to let them pass. If I ever see you again. Stone said, his voice low and deadly, I won't call the police. I'll handle it myself. And trust me, Derek, you don't want me to handle it myself. He shoved Derek through the door and into the parking lot. Derek stumbled, caught himself, turned back. This isn't over, he spat. She's mine, legally. You can't just watch me. Stone stepped back inside. The door closed. Through the window, he watched Derek stand there for a long moment, rage and fear battling on his face. Then he turned and walked to his truck. Engine started. Headlights came on. He drove away. Stone walked back to the booth. Ember was crying. Tommy had a hand on her shoulder. Is he gone? She asked. He's gone. Is he coming back? Stone sat down across from her. Not for you, not ever. She stared at him with eyes too old for her face. You promise, I promise. People break promises. I don't. She looked at him for a longer moment. Then she reached across the table with both arms. Stone leaned forward. She wrapped herself around his neck and held on like he was the only solid thing in a world that had been trying to drown her. Thank you, she whispered into his shoulder. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stone closed his eyes. His arms came up around her small body. He held her gently, like she was precious, like she mattered, like she was worth protecting. Because she was. All of those things and more. You're safe now, Ember, he said quietly. I've got you. And for the first time in 8 months, she believed it. Brick's phone rang 12 minutes after Derek drove away. Talk to me. He listened. His face went hard. You're sure? How long ago? Don't move. We're coming. He hung up and looked at Stone. We have a problem. What kind? Derek didn't go home. Tank and Diesel watched his truck pull into the driveway, but he never went inside. He sat there for 2 minutes, then backed out and took off. Where they lost him. He turned onto Route 7 heading east. Stone's jaw tightened. He's running. Maybe. Or maybe he's getting help. What kind of help? The kind you pay for when you're desperate. Brick glanced at Ember. She was still holding on to Stone's hand, her eyes darting between them. We need to move, now. Move where? The house. If he's running, that he's going to come back for something first. Money, documents, evidence he needs to destroy. I'm coming with you. No, Ben. Brick shook his head. You stay with her. She trusts you. If we take her somewhere else and you're not there, I'm not leaving her. Then bring her. But we need people at that house before he gets back. Stone looked down at Ember. You hear that? She nodded slowly. We're going to go somewhere, together. You and me, and some of my friends are going to make sure Derek can't hurt you anymore. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. Where's safe? Stone didn't have an answer for that, not yet. Marie appeared at the table with a takeout bag, packed up the rest of her food, she said, and some extra. She needs it. Thanks, Marie. You get that bastard, she said quietly, whatever it takes. Stone nodded. He stood up and lifted Ember from her chair. She weighed nothing. Her arms went around his neck automatically, holding on. My crutches, she said. Tommy grabbed them. I got them, little one, don't worry. They moved toward the door. Brick first, then Stone with Ember, then Tommy bringing up the rear. The other customers watched in silence. The family of 5, the elderly couple, the church women. None of them said a word. Stone stopped at the door and turned back. Every single one of you saw a child begging for help tonight, he said, and every single one of you turned her away. Remember that. Remember what you chose. He walked out into the cold. The parking lot was full of motorcycles. More had arrived while they were inside. 15, maybe 20. Brothers from 3 counties all answering the call. Brick pointed to his truck. She rides with me. You follow. I want to stay with Stone, Ember said quickly. It's too cold for the bike, sweetheart, Brick said gently. The truck has heat, and Stone will be right behind us the whole way. He's not leaving you. She looked at Stone. Promise, promise, I'll be so close you can see my headlight in the mirror. She hesitated, then nodded. Stone carried her to Brick's truck and settled her in the passenger seat. Tommy handed up the crutches and Stone tucked them beside her. Seatbelt, he said. She fumbled with it. Her hands were shaking. Stone reached in and buckled it for her. 15 minutes, he said. That's all, then I'll be right there. Okay, he closed the door. Brick was already behind the wheel. He started the engine and looked at Stone through the window. Razor and Jax are still at the house. They've got 2 neighbors ready to talk on record. One of them has photos. Photos. She's been documenting for months. Every time she saw bruises on that kid, she took pictures. Dates times everything. Why didn't she call the police? She did. Twice. Nothing happened. Stone's hands curled into fists. We're going to change that. Yeah, we are. The truck pulled out. Stone jogged to his bike, threw his leg over, and kicked it to life. The convoy moved through town like a rolling storm. Brick's truck in front, Stone, right behind 15 motorcycles spreading out in formation. People on the sidewalk stopped to stare. Let them stare. They'd remember this night for a long time. Maple Street was quiet when they arrived. Small houses, neat lawns, the kind of neighborhood where people minded their own business and pretended not to see what happened behind closed doors. 412 was in the middle of the block. Yellow siding, white shutters, a porch with hanging flower baskets that were dead from the cold. It looked normal. It looked like every other house on the street. That's what made it worse. Razor was waiting on the sidewalk. He's not back yet, he reported, but he will be. Left half the lights on, her garage door's still open. What about the neighbors? Mrs. Patterson at 414, she's the one with the photos, and Mr. Reeves at 408, he heard screaming 6 weeks ago, called it in, nothing happened. Brick nodded. Get them both. I want their statements before the cops arrive. Cops. I called Dane, he's bringing someone from the DA's office. This has to be airtight. Stone pulled up beside the truck. Ember was pressed against the window, staring at the yellow house with terror in her eyes. He got off his bike and opened her door. Hey, look at me. She couldn't. Her eyes were locked on the house. Ember, look at me. She finally turned. Her face was white. I can't go back in there, she whispered. Please, please don't make me go back in there. You're not going in, I promise. You're staying right here with me. But what if he comes back? What if he... Then he'll have to go through 20 of us, and he won't get through one. She was shaking, her whole body trembling. Stone unbuckled her seatbelt and lifted her out of the truck. She buried her face in his shoulder. "I'm scared," she said so quiet he barely heard it. "I know, but I've got you. Nothing's going to happen to you." "You keep saying that." "Because I keep meaning it." Brick approached. "We're going in. Need to document everything before he gets back and tries to clean up." "I'm coming." "Stone, I'm coming. She needs to see it. Needs to know we believe her." Brick hesitated, then nodded. "Stay behind me. Don't touch anything." They walked up the driveway. Ember's grip on Stone's neck tightened with every step. The front door was unlocked. Brick pushed it open. The house was clean, spotless, like something from a magazine. Fresh vacuum lines on the carpet, dishes put away, not a speck of dust anywhere. "He keeps it perfect," Ember whispered. "In case anyone comes. He says appearances matter." They moved through the living room, through the kitchen. Brick stopped at the refrigerator. A heavy padlock hung from the handle. "Ember," he said quietly, "is this normal? Does he always keep it locked?" "Always, unless he's getting food for himself." Brick took out his phone and snapped a picture. They moved on. Through the hallway, past a bathroom, past what looked like a master bedroom. At the end of the hall was a door. It looked different from the others, heavier, the wood was thicker, and on the outside at adult height was a deadbolt. Ember made a sound, small, wounded. "That's my room," she whispered. Stone's heart cracked. Brick slid the deadbolt back. The sound was obscenely loud in the quiet house. He pushed the door open. The room was barely bigger than a closet, maybe 6 feet by 8. No window? Well, there was a window, but it had been painted black. Not a drop of light came through. A mattress lay on the floor. Thin, stained, no sheets, no blankets, no pillow. A cardboard box in the corner held a few pieces of clothing, all of them too small, all of them worn through. That was it. That was everything. A 6-year-old girl had been living in this space for 8 months. Brick's rioting hands shook as he took pictures. "Ember Stone," said he, his voice rough. "You slept here every night. He locked me in after dinner, if I got dinner. Sometimes he forgot to let me out in the morning. Sometimes he forgot for a long time." "How long?" "The longest was 3 days. I had to use the corner for bathroom stuff. He was really mad when he found out. He said I was disgusting. He said I was an animal." Stone couldn't speak. He couldn't breathe. 20 years on the streets. 20 years of violence and brutality and things that would make normal people lose sleep for months. Nothing had prepared him for this. A closet with a deadbolt, a mattress on the floor, a child locked away like she didn't deserve to exist. "We're done here," Brick said. His voice was barely controlled. "I've got enough." They backed out of the room. Stone couldn't look at it anymore. They were halfway down the hall when headlights swept across the front windows. Everyone froze. "That's his truck," Ember whispered. "That's Derek." Brick moved fast. "Stone, take her out the back. Now. I'm not running from. This isn't about you, it's about her. If he sees her, if he gets anywhere near her, just go. We'll handle him." Stone hesitated for half a second, then he moved. He carried Ember through the kitchen, out the back door into the yard. It was dark, cold, snow crunching under his boots. "Where are we going?" Ember asked. "Somewhere he can't see you." He found a spot behind the garage, out of sight from the house, and pressed his back against the wall. "Stay quiet," he whispered. "Can you do that?" She nodded against his shoulder. From inside he heard voices. Brick's calm and steady. And another voice. Higher. Angrier. "Derek, what the hell are you doing in my house? This is breaking and entering. I'm calling the police." "Go ahead," Brick said. "We already did." "What?" "The police are on their way, Derek, along with someone from the DA's office and Child Protective Services. And about 6 news crews, if I know my brothers. You have no right. We have every right. We have photographs of the padlocked refrigerator, the padlocked cabinets, the room with the deadbolt on the outside, the mattress on the floor where you've been keeping your stepdaughter like a prisoner. She's difficult. She has behavioral problems. The lock is for her own safety. Her own safety. Brick's voice went cold. You locked a 6-year-old amputee in a windowless room for days at a time. For her safety. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I understand that you took out a $300,000 life insurance policy on that little girl 2 months after her mother died. I understand that you ran over her with your truck and took her leg. I understand that you've been starving her, beating her, and planning to kill her for the payout. Silence. Then Derek's voice different now, desperate. Who told you that? She's lying. She lies about everything. She's disturbed. She needs help. I've been trying to get her help, but the system... Save it. You don't understand what it's been like. Her mother dying, the medical bills, trying to raise a special needs child alone. You ran over her with your truck. It was an accident. You backed up, slowly, while she was playing directly behind you. The neighbor at 408 watched it happen from his window. He said you checked your mirror twice before you put it in reverse. Stone felt Ember go rigid in his arms. That's not... He's mistaken, the sun was in his eyes. It was 6 o'clock in the evening in October. The sun was already down. Derek's voice cracked. You can't prove anything. It's my word against 4 neighbors, against your stepdaughter, against the photographs, against the insurance documents, against your browser history, which my guy already pulled, and which includes searches for how long can a child survive without food and untraceable ways to cause death. Ember was crying now, silent tears streaming down her face. Stone held her tighter. It's over, Derek, Brick said. You're done. I want a lawyer. You're going to need one. Sirens in the distance. Getting closer. Stone heard scuffling inside, a crash, someone shouting. Then Brick's voice, hard as iron. Don't move. Get off me. This is assault. I'll sue every one of you. You just tried to run from a crime scene in front of 6 witnesses. How do you think that's going to look? The sirens were loud now. Red and blue lights painted the snow. Ember, to Stone said quietly, the police are here. They're going to take Derek away. You're safe. She didn't respond. She was trembling so hard he could feel it in his bones. Ember, look at me. She raised her head. Her eyes were red, swollen, full of terror and something else. Hope. Fragile, bruised, barely alive. But there. Is it really over? She whispered. Yeah, kid, it's really over. He's never coming back. Never, I promise. You promise a lot. I keep them all. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she buried her face in his shoulder again. Thank you, she said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stone closed his eyes. His arms tightened around her. He didn't have words for what he was feeling. Didn't have names for the emotions crashing through his chest like waves against rocks. All he knew was that he would die before he let anyone hurt this child again. The back door opened. Brick stepped out. It's done, he said. They've got him in cuffs. DA's guy is already talking charges. Attempted murder, child abuse, insurance fraud, false imprisonment. He's not getting bail. Good. There's a social worker here. She needs to talk to Ember. Stone felt the girl tense. It's okay, he said. She's here to help. She's one of the good ones. How do you know? Because Dane called her personally. He doesn't call people who aren't good. Ember didn't move. Stone, Brick said gently. She needs to do this. It's part of making sure Derek never gets near her again. I know. Stone looked down at the small face pressed against his chest. Ember, can you talk to the social worker? I'll be right there the whole time. I won't leave. Promise? Promise. She took a shaky breath. Okay. They walked around the house to the front yard. Police cars everywhere. An ambulance. A van from Child Protective Services. And just like Brick had predicted, 3 news vans with cameras already rolling. Derek was in the back of a police car, his face pressed against the window watching. When he saw Ember, something changed in his expression. Rage. Pure, murderous rage. He started shouting, slamming against the window. The words were muffled, but the hatred was clear. Ember whimpered and pressed closer to Stone. Don't look at him, Stone said. Look at me. He can't touch you. He can't hurt you. He's done. He's so angry. Good. Let him be angry. Let him be angry in a prison cell for the rest of his life. A woman approached, mid-40s, kind face clipboard in her hands. I'm Patricia Henley, she said. I'm with Child Protective Services. You must be Ember. Ember didn't respond. She's had a rough night, Stone said. I can imagine. Patricia's eyes swept over Ember's thin frame, the bruises, the missing leg. Her expression tightened. Actually, I can't imagine, but I'm going to do everything I can to help. What do you need? Just some questions. Nothing scary, just so we can figure out what happens next. What does happen next? Patricia hesitated. Normally, we'd place her in emergency foster care while we... No. The word came out harder than Stone intended. Patricia blinked. I'm sorry. She's not going to foster care. She's staying with me. Sir, I appreciate what you've done tonight, but there are procedures. Background checks, home studies, licensing requirements. Then start them. Tonight, right now, do whatever you need to do, but she's not going anywhere with strangers. Sir, my name is Stone McKenna. I've got a jagged but nothing violent in the last 10 years. I own my house outright. I've got steady work, and I'm not letting this kid out of my sight. Patricia studied him for a long moment. Then she looked at Ember. Sweetie, can you tell me what you want? Ember's grip on Stone's neck tightened. I want to stay with him, she whispered. Please. He's the only one who helped me. Everyone else said no. He said yes. Patricia's eyes softened. Okay, she said quietly. Okay, we'll figure it out. Really, really. I can't promise anything yet, but I can tell you that what that little girl wants matters. And if you're willing to go through the process, I'm willing. Then we'll make it work. She looked at Ember again. For tonight, at least you can stay together. I'll push through an emergency placement. It's not standard procedure, but... She glanced back at the house, at the police cars, at Derek screaming in the back seat. Nothing about this is standard. Thank you, Stone said. Don't thank me yet. There's a lot of work ahead. Interviews, assessments, court dates. It's not going to be easy. I don't care about easy. I care about her. Patricia nodded slowly. I can see that. She made a note on her clipboard. I'll be in touch tomorrow. For now, get her somewhere warm. Get her fed. Let her sleep. I will. Patricia walked away. Brick appeared at Stone's shoulder. That went better than expected. She's a good one. Dane knows how to pick them. Brick looked at Ember. Hey, little one. You did good tonight. Real good. She didn't respond. Her eyes were starting to close. She's exhausted, Stone said. Take her home. We'll handle the rest. What about the house, the evidence? Police have it. DA has it. It's airtight, Stone. He's not getting out of this. Good. Stone carried Ember to his truck. Jax had driven it over from the diner and settled her in the passenger seat. She was asleep before he finished buckling her seatbelt. He stood there for a moment looking at her. This tiny broken girl who'd walked into a diner on one leg and changed everything. 8 hours ago, he'd been eating a burger and reading the paper, perfectly content to be alone. Now he was responsible for a child, a traumatized, abused, disabled child who'd been through hell and somehow survived. He had no idea what he was doing, no idea how to raise a kid, no idea how to help her heal from what had been done to her. But he knew one thing. He wasn't going to fail her. He'd failed people before. In Afghanistan, on the streets, in his own family back when he still had one. He wasn't going to fail again. Not this time. Not her. He closed the door gently and walked around to the driver's side. Brick was waiting. You know this changes everything, Brick said. I know. The club's got your back. Whatever you need. I know that too. But this is on you, Stone. She's on you. That's not something you can walk away from. I'm not walking away. Brick studied him for a long moment. Then he smiled. No, I don't think you are. He stepped back. Stone got in the truck, started the engine, pulled away from the yellow house with its dead flowers and its painted-over window, and its closet where a child had been kept like an animal. He didn't look back. Ember slept the whole way. When they reached his place, a small house on 3 acres at the end of a gravel road, he carried her inside and laid her on the couch, found a blanket, tucked it around her thin shoulders. She stirred. Stone, I'm here. Where are we? My house. Your house now if you want it. She blinked up at him, confusion and exhaustion clouding in her eyes. My house. Yeah, if you want. She was quiet for a long moment. I've never had a house, she whispered. just places I wasn't supposed to be. Stone's throat tightened. Well, you're supposed to be here. Okay, this is your place now. Nobody's going to lock you in a room. Nobody's going to take your food. Nobody's going to hurt you. Promise, promise. She reached out with one small hand. He took it. Will you stay, she asked, until I fall asleep? Yeah, kid, I'll stay. You won't leave? I won't leave. She closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. Her grip on his hand loosened but didn't let go. Stone sat there in the dark, holding on to this child who'd been thrown away by everyone who should have protected her. And he made a silent vow. Whatever it takes, however long it takes, I'm going to give her the life she deserves. Outside, the snow kept falling. Inside, for the first time in 8 months, Ember slept without fear. Ember woke up screaming at 3 a.m. Stone was there in seconds. He found her thrashing on the couch, tangled in the blanket, her small fist swinging at something only she could see. No, please, I'll be good. I'll be good. Ember, Ember, wake up. He grabbed her shoulders gently. She fought him, eyes still closed, still trapped in whatever nightmare had its claws in her. Don't lock me in. Please, I can't breathe. I can't. Ember, her eyes flew open. For a moment, she didn't recognize him. Terror filled her face. She scrambled backward on the couch, pressing herself against the armored rest, making herself as small as possible. It's me, Stone said, keeping his voice low and steady. It's Stone. You're safe. You're at my house. Remember? She stared at him, chest heaving. Stone. Yeah, kid, it's me. Her face crumpled. I thought I was back there. I thought, you're not back there. You're never going back there. She launched herself at him, wrapping her arms around his neck, sobbing into his shoulder. It was so dark. It was so dark, and I couldn't get out, and I kept banging on the door, but nobody came. Nobody ever came. Stone held her tight. I came. I'm here now. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I'm not leaving. Promise. Promise, mine. She cried for a long time. He didn't try to stop her. Didn't tell her it was okay. It wasn't okay. Nothing about what had happened to her was okay. All he could do was hold on. Eventually, the sobs faded. Her breathing slowed. Her grip loosened. Stone, yeah, I'm hungry. He almost laughed, almost. Okay, let's get you something to eat. He carried her to the kitchen and set her on a chair at the table. Then he opened the refrigerator. It wasn't locked. He saw her notice, saw her eyes go wide. It's not locked, she whispered. No, it's never locked. I can just open it anytime you want, day or night. If you're hungry, you eat. That's how it works here. She stared at the refrigerator like it was a miracle. Stone pulled out eggs, cheese, bread, started making scrambled eggs and toast because it was 3 a.m., and that's what you made at 3 a.m. Ember watched his every move. Stone, yeah. What if I eat too much? What if I use up all your food? His hand stopped moving on the pan. Then I'll buy more. But what if you can't afford it? What if... Ember. He turned to face her. I'm never going to run out of food. And even if I did, I'd figure it out. You eating is not a problem. You not eating is a problem. Understand? She nodded slowly. Okay. He finished the eggs, put them on a plate with 2 pieces of buttered toast, set it in front of her. She didn't move. Go ahead, he said. It's yours. You're not eating. I'll eat later. But you made it. I made it for you. She looked down at the plate, then up at him, then back at the plate. Derek never made me food, she said quietly. He said cooking was women's work. He said I should be grateful for whatever scraps he decided to give me. Derek was wrong about a lot of things. I know, but sometimes it's hard to remember. His voice gets stuck in my head, telling me I'm bad, telling me I don't deserve things. Stone sat down across from her. You know what I think. What? I think you're one of the bravest people I've ever met. And I've met a lot of people, soldiers, fighters, men who would run into gunfire without blinking. But you know what? Most of them had backup. Most of them had weapons. Most of them had someone watching their six. He leaned forward. You had nothing. You had one leg and a monster for a guardian and a world that kept turning away. And you still fought. You still ran. You still survived. That's not bad, Ember. That's incredible. Her eyes filled with tears. You really think that? I know it. She picked up her fork. She ate. The next 3 days were a blur. Patricia from CPS came by twice. The first time she did a home inspection. Stone watched her walk through his house, checking closets, opening cabinets, looking for God knows what. It's not fancy, he said. It doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to be safe. Is it? She looked at him. Yes, it is. The second time she brought paperwork. Mountains of it. Emergency foster placement forms, background check authorizations, financial disclosures. Stone signed everything. This is just temporary, Patricia explained. Emergency placement while we process a more permanent arrangement. What kind of permanent arrangement? That depends. On the court, on Ember, on you. What about me? Patricia studied him. Have you thought about what you actually want here, Mr. McKenna? I want her safe. Beyond that, long term, are you thinking foster care, guardianship, adoption? The word hung in the air. Adoption. I don't know, Stone admitted. I haven't thought that far ahead. You should, because she's going to need stability, permanence. She's going to need to know that whoever takes care of her isn't going to change their mind. I'm not going to change my mind. You have known her for 3 days. Doesn't matter. It matters to the court. Stone leaned forward. Let me tell you something about courts. I've been in front of judges more times than I can count. For fights, for assault, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong patch on my back. Every single time those judges looked at me and saw exactly what they expected to see. A criminal, a thug, a lost cause. He held Patricia's gaze. But you know what they never saw. They never saw me hold a dying soldier in my arms in Afghanistan. They never saw me pull a man out of a burning car on Route 7. They never saw me give my last $20 to a homeless kid outside a gas station because he reminded me of someone I couldn't save. He sat back. I'm not what I look like, and I'm not going to let Ember down because some judge decides to see the vest instead of the man. Patricia was quiet for a long moment. You might actually pull this off, she said finally. I'm going to do more than pull it off. I'm going to give that kid the life she deserves. I believe you. Good. Now what do I need to sign? On the 4th day, Brick came by. Stone was teaching Ember how to make pancakes. She was sitting on the counter stirring the batter, actually smiling for once. Then the motorcycle pulled up outside. Ember froze. It's okay, Stone said quickly. That's just Brick. Remember him? The man with the gray beard? Yeah, he's a friend. Is something wrong? I don't know. Let me find out. He went to the door. Brick was already on the porch, his expression grim. We need to talk. About what? Brick glanced past him into the house. Saw Ember watching from the house to the kitchen. Not in front of her. Stone's stomach dropped. That bad? Could be. He turned back to Ember. Hey, kid, keep stirring that batter. I'll be right back. Where are you going? Just outside, 2 minutes. Promise, promise. He stepped onto the porch and closed the door. Talk. Brick pulled out his phone. Got a call from Dane this morning. Derek's lawyer is making moves. What kind of moves? Motion to dismiss, claims the evidence was obtained illegally, says we broke into his house without a warrant, contaminated the crime scene, coerced witnesses. Stone felt cold fury spreading through his chest. That's bullshit. Of course it's bullshit, but he's got a fancy lawyer, some hotshot from Denver who specializes in getting guilty people off on technicalities. How did he afford a lawyer like that? That's the interesting part. Brick's jaw tightened. Someone's paying for it, someone with deep pockets. Who? We don't know yet, but Derek didn't have 2 nickels to rub together before this. Now suddenly he's got representation that costs more than most people make in a year. Stone's mind was racing. The insurance company. What? Think about it. Derek works for Western Life Insurance. He knows things, secrets. Maybe he helped other people commit fraud. Maybe he's got dirt on someone important. You think they're paying his legal fees to keep him quiet? It's the only thing that makes sense, Brick nodded slowly. That's actually a good theory. I'll have our guy dig into it. How long do we have? The hearing's in 3 days. If the judge grants the motion to dismiss, he walks. Yeah, he walks. Stone's hands curled into fists. That's not happening. I know, but we need to be smart about this. We need ammunition. What kind of ammunition? More witnesses, more evidence, something that proves Derek's pattern of behavior didn't start with Ember. Stone went still. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe this isn't his first rodeo. Maybe there are other victims, other kids, other wives who died conveniently. You think he's done this before? I think men like Derek don't wake up one day and suddenly decide to torture a child. They build up to it. They practice. They get away with small things before they try big things. Stone thought about that, about Derek's confidence, his smooth lies, his ability to fool police and social workers and everyone else who should have seen through him. He's done it before, Stone said. He has to have. Then we find proof and we make sure that motion gets denied. How much time do we have? 3 days. Then we work fast. Brick nodded and headed back to his bike. Stone stood on the porch for a moment watching him go. 3 days. 3 days to find evidence that might not exist. 3 days to stop a monster from walking free. He went back inside. Ember was still on the counter, still stirring the batter, but her face had changed. The smile was gone. Worry had replaced it. Something's wrong, she said. I can tell. Stone hesitated. It's nothing you need to worry about. It's about Derek, isn't it? He couldn't lie to her. Not after everything. Yeah, it's about Derek. Is he getting out? No, I won't let that happen. But something's wrong. His lawyer is trying to get the case thrown out, saying the evidence isn't good enough. Ember's face went pale. But you saw my room, you saw the locks, you saw. I know, and the judge will see it too. We just need to make sure our case is stronger than his lawyer's tricks. How? Stone looked at her. Ember, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be completely honest with me. Okay. Do you know if Derek ever hurt anyone else before you, another kid maybe? Or your mom? Ember's hand stopped stirring. He never hit my mom, not where I could see, but what? Sometimes at night I heard them fighting, and the next day Mom would move different, like she was sore and she'd wear long sleeves even when it was hot. Stone's heart sank. Did she ever say anything? I asked her once why she was crying. She said she fell. She said Derek was helping her be more careful. Ember's voice dropped. But I knew she didn't fall, just like I didn't fall. Did anyone else know any of her friends, family? Mom didn't have friends. Derek said friends were distractions. He said she only needed him. Ember paused. But there was a woman. She came to the house once when Derek was at work. She and Mom talked for a long time. Mom was crying. Stone leaned closer. Do you remember her name? Mom called her Sarah. She said Sarah was from before Derek. Before Derek, like an old friend. I think so. She gave Mom her phone number, told her to call if she ever needed help. Did your mom call her? Ember's eyes filled with tears. I don't know. Mom got sick right after that. And then she died. And then everything got bad. Stone reached out and took her hand. You did good, Ember. That's really helpful. Really, Ish? Really, do you remember anything else about Sarah? What she looked like, where she worked? She was pretty, brown hair. She wore a blue jacket with a name on it. Ember squeezed her eyes shut, trying to remember. Providence, it said Providence something. Providence. I think it was a church or a hospital. I don't remember. That's okay, that's more than enough. Stone pulled out his phone and texted Brick. Need you to find someone, Sarah. Works at a place called Providence something. Maybe a hospital. Connected to Ember's mother. Could be our key witness. The response came 30 seconds later. On it. Stone put his phone away. Ember, I need you to know something. What? Whatever happens with this hearing with Derek, with any of it, you're safe. Here. With me. No matter what some judge decides, I'm not letting you go back to him. Even if I have to break every law in Colorado to make sure of it. Her lower lip trembled. You'd do that for me. Yeah, kid, I would. She slid off the counter and wrapped her arms around his waist. I don't want you to go to jail, she whispered. I don't want to lose you too. Stone knelt down to her level. You're not going to lose me, and I'm not going to jail, because we're going to win this the right way. with evidence, with witnesses, with the truth. What if the truth isn't enough? It will be. It has to be. She looked at him with those old, tired eyes. Derek always said the truth didn't matter. He said all that mattered was what you could make people believe. Derek was wrong. But what if he wasn't? What if his lawyer makes the judge believe him? Stone took her face in his hands. Then we'll find another time, and another, until we win. Because that's what we do, Ember. We don't give up. Not ever. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay. Okay, I trust you. 3 words. That's all it took to break Stone's heart and rebuild it at the same time. Good, he said, his voice rough. Now let's make those pancakes before the batter goes bad. She almost smiled. Can we put chocolate chips in them? Kid, we can put whatever you want in them. This time she did smile. Small, fragile, but real. And Stone thought that maybe, just maybe, they were going to okay. His phone buzzed. A text from Brick. Found her, Sarah Chen, social worker at Providence Hospital. She filed a domestic violence report about Ember's mother 6 months before she died. Report was buried, never investigated. Stone read it twice, then a third time. Who buried it? Brick's response came fast. Working on it. But Stone, you're not going to like the answer. Tell me anyway. A pause, then. The report was assigned to a CPS caseworker named Thomas Reed. Same guy who closed the investigation after the neighbor's calls about Ember. Same guy who signed off on Derek's home as safe. Stone's blood ran cold. Are you saying what I think you're saying? Yeah. Someone on the inside has been covering for Derek. For at least a year, maybe longer. This goes deeper than we thought. Stone looked at Ember happily dropping chocolate chips into the pancake batter, counting them out loud. 7, 8, 9. She had no idea. No idea that the system meant to protect her had been working against her all along. No idea that Derek had help. But Stone knew now. And he was going to burn it all down. Stone found Sarah Chen at Providence Hospital the next morning. She was coming out of the staff entrance, coffee in one hand, phone in the other, when he stepped into her path. Sarah Chen. She stopped, looked up, took in the leather vest, the scars, the tattoos. Her face went pale. Who are you? My name is Stone. I need to talk to you about Lisa Manning. The coffee cup slipped from her hand. It hit the ground. Brown liquid splashed across the concrete. Sarah didn't notice. How do you know that name? Her daughter told me. Ember, Sarah's voice cracked. You know Ember. Is she okay? I've been trying to find her for months. After Lisa died, Derek shut everyone out. He moved her out of school, changed his number. I went to the house 3 times and he threatened to call the police if I came back. She's with me. With you. Why, what happened? Stone didn't have time to sugarcoat it. Derek's been abusing her, starving her, locking her in a closet. He took out a life insurance policy. He was planning to kill her. Sarah's hand went to her mouth. Oh God, I knew it. I knew something was wrong. I filed a report 6 months before Lisa died. I told them exactly what was happening. I know, the report was buried. What? A CPS caseworker named Thomas Reed. He made it disappear. Sarah's eyes went wide. Reed, that's impossible. He's the one who... She stopped. Her face changed. He's the one who told me the investigation was closed. He said Lisa recanted, said she made the whole thing up. I didn't believe him, but what could I do? The case was closed. Lisa never recanted, did she? No, I talked to her the day before Reed said she did. She was terrified. She was making plans to leave. She had a bag packed under her bed. Stone felt his jaw tighten. What happened? 2 days later, she was in the hospital, some kind of accident. Derek said she fell down the stairs, but I saw her, Stone. I saw the bruises. They weren't from falling. Did you tell anyone? I told Reed. I demanded he reopen the case. He said there was no evidence, said Lisa was clumsy, said I was being hysterical. And then Lisa got sick. The cancer diagnosis came out of nowhere. Stage 4, she was dead in 3 months. Stone's mind was racing. That's fast. Too fast. I'm a social worker, not a doctor, but I've seen a lot of cases. Cancer doesn't usually work that way. Not unless it's been growing for a long time. Lisa had a physical 6 months before she died. Nothing showed up. You think he did something? It wasn't a question. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I don't know. I can't prove anything. But the timing, Lisa starts making plans to leave. Suddenly she falls down the stairs. Suddenly she has cancer. Suddenly she's dead and Derek has full custody of her daughter. And a $300,000 life insurance policy. Sarah went still. What? Derek took out policies on both of them, Lisa and Ember. Lisa's paid out after she died. Ember's is still active. Oh my God. Yeah, Sarah was trembling now. I tried to save her. I tried to save them both. But nobody listened. Nobody believed me. And now we have another chance. She looked up at him. What do you mean? Derek Square's lawyer is trying to get the case dismissed. Claims the evidence was obtained illegally. The hearing is in 2 days. 2 days? I need you to testify about the report you filed, about what Lisa told you, about Reed burying the case. All of it. Sarah's face went white. Stone, I could lose my job. If I accuse a CPS caseworker of covering up abuse, I'll never work in social services again. If you don't, Derek walks, and the next kid he gets his hands on won't be as lucky as Ember. She flinched. That's not fair. None of this is fair. A 6-year-old girl lost her mother, lost her leg, and spent 8 months being tortured by a man who was supposed to protect her. Fair went out the window a long time ago. Sarah closed her eyes. You don't understand. I have a family. I have kids of my own. If I lose my job, if you don't testify, you lose something worse. What? Yourself, the person you were when you filed that report. The person who saw something wrong and tried to stop it. That person doesn't walk away because it's hard. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she opened her eyes. Where do I need to be? Stone handed her a card. County Courthouse, 9 a.m. Day after tomorrow. Ask for ADA Martinez. She's handling the prosecution. Martinez, okay. Sarah took the card with shaking hands. Stone, yeah. Take care of her. Ember, she deserves better than what she got. I know, that's what I'm trying to give her. He turned to leave. Stone. He stopped. There's something else. Something I didn't put in the report. He turned back. What? Sarah's voice dropped. A week before Lisa fell down the stairs, she called me. Late at night, she was crying. She said Derek had been acting strange, spending a lot of time in the garage, buying things off the internet and hiding them. What kind of things? She didn't know, but she found a receipt for something called, I can't remember exactly, thallium something. Stone's blood ran cold. Thallium sulfate. Maybe. Why, what is that? Stone didn't answer. He was already pulling out his phone. Thallium sulfate. A poison, odorless, tasteless, nearly undetectable. It caused symptoms that looked like cancer, hair loss, nausea, organ failure. Lisa Manning hadn't died of cancer. She'd been murdered. And Stone was going to prove it. He called Brick. I need a favor. Name it. Lisa Manning, Ember's mother. She died 8 months ago. Officially, it was cancer. But I think Derek poisoned her. Miss silence on the other end. Then, what do you need? Medical records, toxicology reports if there are any, and find out if the body was cremated or buried. You thinking exhumation? I'm thinking we need to know what actually killed Ember. That's going to take time, and lawyers, and a judge willing to sign off on digging up a corpse. We have 2 days. Stone, 2 days. Brick. That's all we have. If we don't find something solid, Derek walks, and Ember goes back to a system that's already failed her twice. Another pause. I'll make some calls, but Stone, you need to prepare yourself. We might not find anything. I know. And even if we do, it might not be enough. It has to be. He hung up. Then he drove back to his house. Ember was waiting on the porch. Tommy was with her, watching her draw pictures with some crayons one of the brothers' wives had dropped off. When Stone pulled up, she jumped off the swing and hobbled toward him on her crutches. You were gone a long time. I know. I'm sorry. Did you find her, the woman named Sarah? Stone hesitated. Yeah, I found her. Is she going to help? Yeah, she's going to help. Ember's face lit up. So Derek is going to stay in jail. That's the plan. Promise. Stone knelt down to her level. Ember, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth even if it's hard. Okay. Before your mom got sick, was she acting normal or was something wrong? Ember's face clouded. She was tired, all the time. She said it was stress, but she kept getting more tired, and her hair started falling out. Did she see a doctor? Derek wouldn't let her. He said doctors were too expensive. He said she just needed rest. But she didn't get better. No, she got worse, and then one day she couldn't get out of bed. Derek finally took her to the hospital. They said it was cancer. They said she should have come sooner. Stone felt sick. Ember, did Derek ever give your mom anything? Drinks, food, medicine. She thought about it. He made her tea every night. He said it would help her sleep. Mom said it tasted funny, but Derek got mad when she didn't drink it. How long did he make her tea? I don't know, a few months. It started after she packed the bag under the bed. Stone's hands curled into fists. A few months. That was long enough. Long enough to slowly poison someone. Long enough to make it look like natural illness. Long enough to kill a woman while pretending to care for her. Ember, you just helped a lot. I did. Yeah, more than you know. He stood up and looked at Tommy. Stay with her. I have calls to make. What's going on? I think Derek murdered Ember's mother, and I'm going to prove it. Tommy's face went hard. What do you need? Time and a miracle. He went inside and called ADA Martinez. She answered on the second ring. Mr. McKenna, I was just about to call you. I have new information. So do I. And mine isn't good. Stone's stomach dropped. What happened? Derek's lawyer filed a motion this morning. He's claiming you assaulted his client at the diner, pushed him, threatened him. He wants you charged with battery. That's ridiculous. There are witnesses, the other customers. Some of them are willing to testify that you put your hands on him. Stone remembered, grabbing Derek by the collar, shoving him toward the door. He'd done it to protect Ember. Now it might cost them everything. Can he really do this? He can try, and if the judge believes him, it could undermine our whole case. Defense will argue you're a violent criminal with a vendetta, that you manufactured evidence, that Ember was coached. She wasn't coached. Everything she said was true. I believe you, but belief isn't evidence. Stone took a breath. Then let me give you evidence. Derek poisoned his wife. Silence. What? Lisa Manning, 8 months ago, officially died of cancer, but I have a witness who says Derek was giving her something, tea every night. She got sick right after she tried to leave him. A social worker filed a report that got buried by a CPS caseworker who's been covering for Derek. Stone, that's a lot of accusations. I have a name, Sarah Chen. She'll testify. And I need you to subpoena Lisa Manning's medical records. And I need you to consider an exhumation. Exhumation, do you have any idea how hard that is to? Derek is going to walk in 2 days unless we stop him. If he walks, Ember goes back into a system that's been protecting him. She'll disappear, and the next time anyone sees her, it'll be at her funeral. Martinez was quiet. You really believe this? I know this. In my gut, Derek Manning is a murderer. He killed his wife. He crippled his stepdaughter. And if we don't stop him now, he's going to kill again. A long pause. I'll make some calls. But Stone, I need you to stay out of this until the hearing. No contact with Derek. No contact with witnesses. No more cowboy justice. Can you do that? Yeah, I mean it. One more incident and the whole case falls apart. I understand. Good, I'll call you tonight. She hung up. Stone stood there, phone in his hand, mind racing. 2 days. 2 days to prove a murder that happened 8 months ago. 2 days to expose a corrupt system. 2 days to save a little girl from a monster. His phone buzzed. A text from Brick. Lisa Manning was cremated. No body to exhume. Derek requested it 3 days after she died. Stone's heart sank. Of course Derek had destroyed the evidence. He was smart, careful. He'd planned this from the beginning. Another text from Brick. But there might be something else. Hospital kept blood samples. Standard procedure for cancer patients. If there's poison in her system, it might still show up. Stone felt hope flicker back to life. Can Martinez get them? She'll need a warrant. and a judge who doesn't ask too many questions. Can you make that happen? A pause. Then I know a guy. But Stone, this is going to cost us. I don't care. I mean, really cost us. Favors we can't take back. Doors that might close forever. I don't care. Another pause. Okay, I'll make it happen. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when we win. Stone put his phone away. He walked back to the porch. Ember was still drawing. She'd covered 3 pages with pictures. Houses with smoke coming from chimneys. Trees with bright green leaves. A motorcycle that looked like Stone's. And in every picture, the same 2 figures. A big man with dark hair, a small girl with one leg, together. What are you drawing? Stone asked. Us, Ember said. I'm drawing what I want to happen. What do you want to happen? She looked up at him with those big, serious eyes. I want to stay with you forever. I want Derek to go away and never come back. I want to have a room with a window that isn't painted black. I want to eat breakfast every day and go to school and have friends. Her voice dropped. I want to be normal, like other kids. Stone sat down beside her on the porch swing. You know what I think? I think normal is overrated. I think the best people I've ever known are the ones who have been through hard things and came out the other side. They're stronger, kinder. They understand things that normal people never will. Like what? Like how important it is to be there for someone. Like how much a hot meal matters when you haven't eaten in days. Like how a single act of kindness can change a person's whole life. Ember was quiet. Is that what happened to you? What do you mean? Did someone do something kind for you when things were hard? Stone thought about Afghanistan, about the brothers who'd pulled him back from the edge when he came home broken, about the club that had given him a family when his own had given up on him. Yeah, he said, someone did. Who? A lot of people, actually. That's the thing about kindness, Ember. It spreads. Someone helps you, and then you help someone else, and it just keeps going. Like dominoes. Yeah, like dominoes. She picked up her crayon and started drawing again. Stone, yeah. When this is over, can I call you something else? Like what? She didn't answer right away, just kept drawing. Then very quietly, Dad. Stone couldn't breathe. Stace, you want to call me Dad? Only if it's okay. I know you're not my real dad. My real dad left before I was born. But you're more like it than anyone I have ever had. You make me food. You keep me safe. You don't hit me or lock me up or tell me I'm worthless. Her voice cracked. That's what dads are supposed to do, right? Stone's eyes burned. Yeah, he managed. That's what dads are supposed to do. So can I. He pulled her into his arms. Yeah, Ember, you can call me Dad. She hugged him back, her small arms barely reaching around his chest. I love you, Dad. 3 words. 3 words that rewired everything inside him. I love you too, kid. They sat there on the porch holding on to each other while the sun started to set. Somewhere out there, Derek was plotting. Somewhere out there, a corrupt system was trying to protect him. But right here, right now, a little girl had found her father, and Stone had found something worth fighting for. Whatever came next, he was ready. They both were. The courthouse was packed. Stone arrived at 8:30 a.m. with Ember holding his hand. She was wearing a new dress that Marie from the diner had bought her, purple, her favorite color. Her hair was brushed and braided courtesy of Tommy's wife. She looked like a normal kid, but her grip on Stone's hand was anything but normal. Tight, desperate, like she was afraid he'd disappear if she let go. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, but I'm right here. What if the judge believes Derek? He won't. But what if he does? Stone knelt down to her level. Ember, look at me. She looked. Whatever happens in that courtroom today, you're not going back to him. I don't care what any judge says. I don't care what any lawyer argues. You're my daughter now, and nobody takes you from me. Understand? Her eyes filled with tears. I understand. Good. Now let's go show them what the truth looks like. They walked into the courthouse together. Brick was waiting in the lobby with 6 other brothers, all of them in leather vests, all of them looking like they'd walked out of a nightmare. The security guards at the metal detector exchanged nervous glances. We're here as observers, Brick said calmly. No weapons, no trouble. Just observers. The guards didn't argue. They passed through security and headed for courtroom 4B. Ada Martinez was already inside spreading papers across her table. She looked up when Stone entered. "We got them," she said quietly. "The blood samples came back this morning. Thallium poisoning. Lisa Manning didn't die of cancer. She was murdered." Stone felt something loosen in his chest. "Derek, we're adding murder charges, first degree, along with the attempted murder of Ember, the abuse, the fraud. He's going away, Stone, for the rest of his life." "Does he know?" "Not yet. His lawyer thinks this is still just a dismissal hearing." Martinez smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "He's about to have a very bad day." The courtroom filled up. Sarah Chen arrived looking nervous but determined. She took a seat behind the prosecution table. The neighbors from Maple Street came too. Mrs. Patterson with her folder of photographs. Mr. Reeves with his statement about the truck backing up. Two other women Stone didn't recognize. And then the door at the back opened. Derek walked in. He was wearing a suit, hair combed, face clean-shaven, looking every inch the respectable citizen. His eyes swept the courtroom. They landed on Ember. He smiled. Ember whimpered and pressed closer to Stone. "Don't look at him," Stone murmured. "He can't touch you. He's looking at me like he's going to kill me. He's never going to get the chance." Derek took his seat at the defense table. His lawyer, a slick man in a designer suit, leaned over and whispered something. Derek nodded, still smiling. Confident. He had no idea what was coming. "All rise," the bailiff announced. "The Honorable Judge Rebecca Torres presiding." Everyone stood. Judge Torres entered. Mid-50s, steel gray hair, eyes that had seen every lie ever told in a courtroom. She sat down. "Be seated." Everyone sat. "This is case number 2024 CF 4471, State of Colorado versus Derek Manning. We're here on the defense's motion to dismiss. Mr. Hartley, you may proceed." Derek's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client has been the victim of a coordinated campaign of harassment and defamation. The so-called evidence in this case was obtained through illegal means by individuals with criminal records who broke into my client's home without a warrant. The primary witness is a 6-year-old child who has been coached by these same individuals to fabricate stories of abuse." Stone's hands curled into fists. Brick put a hand on his shoulder. "Easy." "Furthermore," Hartley continued, "my client was physically assaulted by one of these individuals. He has witnesses who will testify to this assault. We ask that all charges be dismissed and that Mr. McKenna be charged with battery." Judge Torres looked unimpressed. "Is that all?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Ms. Martinez," Martinez stood up slowly. "Your Honor, I'd like to respond to the defense's claims with some new evidence that has come to light." Hartley's smile flickered. "Objection. This is a dismissal hearing, not a trial. New evidence should be—" "I'll allow it," Judge Torres said. "Proceed, Ms. Martinez." Martinez picked up a folder. "Your Honor, this morning I received the results of a toxicology analysis performed on blood samples taken from Lisa Manning 8 months ago during her hospitalization. Lisa Manning was Derek Manning's wife and the biological mother of Ember Manning. She handed a copy to the judge and another to Hartley. The analysis revealed lethal levels of thallium sulfate in Mrs. Manning's blood. Thallium is a poison that mimics the symptoms of cancer: hair loss, nausea, organ failure. Mrs. Manning didn't die of cancer. Your Honor, she was murdered." The courtroom erupted. Derek's face went white. Hartley was on his feet. "Objection. This is outrageous. This evidence was obtained without proper—" "The samples were obtained legally," Martinez cut in. "They were stored at Providence Hospital as part of standard cancer treatment protocol. I obtained a warrant yesterday afternoon." Judge Torres banged her gavel. "Order, I will have order in this courtroom." The noise subsided. Torres looked at the toxicology report for a long moment. Then she looked at Derek. "Mr. Manning, do you understand the implications of this evidence?" Derek was shaking. "Your Honor, I had nothing to do with— This is a mistake. Someone's framing me." "A mistake," Torres repeated. "Let's see what else might be a mistake." She nodded at Martinez. "Your Honor, I'd like to call Sarah Chen to the stand." Sarah walked forward. Her hands were trembling, but her voice was steady as she took the oath. Martinez approached her. Ms. Chen, what is your profession? I'm a social worker at Providence Hospital. And did you know Lisa Manning? Yes. She was my friend. We grew up together. Can you describe the last time you saw her? Sarah's voice wavered. It was about 2 weeks before she was hospitalized. She called me crying. She said Derek had been acting strange. She said she was scared. She said she'd found a receipt for something she didn't understand. What kind of receipt? A chemical. She didn't know what it was for, but she said Derek had been making her tea every night, tea that tasted strange. She said she didn't want to drink it, but he got angry when she refused. Martinez held up a photograph. Ms. Chen, do you recognize this? Sarah looked at it. Her face paled. That's thallium sulfate. That's what the receipt was for. And what happened after Lisa told you this? I filed a report with CPS. I documented everything she told me. Dates, times, symptoms. I begged them to investigate. And did they, The case was assigned to a worker named Thomas Reed. He told me the investigation was closed. He said Lisa had recanted. Had she? No, I spoke to her the day before Reed said she recanted. She was more afraid than ever. She was planning to leave, and then she fell down the stairs. Martinez turned to the judge. Your Honor, we have evidence that Thomas Reed, a CPS caseworker, has been systematically covering up reports of abuse involving Derek Manning. Reed closed 2 separate investigations into the Manning household. He also signed off on a home inspection that failed to note a padlocked and refrigerator, locked cabinets, and a room with a deadbolt on the outside of the door. Tora's expression hardened. Where is Mr. Reed now? In federal custody. He was arrested this morning on charges of obstruction of justice and conspiracy. Another wave of murmurs through the courtroom. Derek was sweating now. His confident smile had vanished completely. Hartley was frantically scribbling notes, his face the color of old cheese. Martinez turned back to Sarah. One more question, Ms. Chen. In your professional opinion, what was Derek Manning's intention toward his wife? Sarah looked directly at Derek. He wanted her dead. He poisoned her slowly so no one would suspect. He isolated her from friends and family. He made sure there were no witnesses. And when she tried to leave, he escalated. And what about Ember? What was his intention toward her? The same thing. He ran over her with his truck to cripple her. He starved her to weaken her. He was waiting for the right moment to finish what he started. Thank you, Ms. Chen. No further questions. Torres looked at Hartley. Does the defense wish to cross-examine? Hartley stood up slowly. He looked at Derek. Derek looked at him. Something passed between them. No, Your Honor. No questions. He sat back down. Torres nodded. Ms. Martinez, call your next witness. The people call Ember Manning. Stone felt Ember's hand tighten on his. I have to, she whispered. You're the bravest person I know, he whispered back. You can do this. She stood up. She picked up her crutches. She made her way to the witness stand. Tap, scrape, tap, scrape. The whole courtroom watched. Derek watched. His eyes followed her every movement. Ember didn't look at him. She looked at Stone. He nodded. I'm here. You've got this. She sat down in the witness chair. The bailiff approached with a Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Ember's voice was small but clear. I do. Martinez approached gently. Ember, I know this is scary. I just need you to answer a few questions. Can you do that? Yes. Can you tell the court who you lived with before you came to stay with Mr. McKenna? My stepdad, Derek. And how did Derek treat you? Ember's hands twisted in her lap. He was mean. He hit me. He locked me in a room with no windows. He didn't let me eat. How long did this go on? Since my mom died. 8 months. Did you ever tell anyone what was happening? I tried. I told a teacher. She didn't believe me. I told a counselor. She said I was making things up. I told a policeman who came to our house. He believed Derek. Why do you think they believed Derek instead of you? Because I'm just a kid. And Derek is good at lying. He knows how to make people believe him. Martinez nodded. Ember, do you remember the accident that injured your leg? Ember's face went pale. Yes. Can you tell us what happened? She was quiet for a moment. Then I was playing into the driveway. I wasn't supposed to, but Derek was inside watching TV and I thought he wouldn't notice. I was drawing with chalk. And then what happened? I heard the truck start. Derek got in. I tried to run, but I wasn't fast enough. The truck came backward. It hit me. Did you see Derek in the truck? Yes, he was looking at me. Through the mirror, he saw me, and he didn't stop. The courtroom was dead silent. He saw you, Martinez repeated, and he didn't stop. No, he kept coming, and then everything hurt, and I was screaming, and there was so much blood, and I couldn't feel my leg anymore. Her voice broke. Stone stood up. Your Honor, can we take a break? She needs... I'm okay, as Ember said, her voice stronger now. I want to finish. I want to tell them everything. Torres looked at her with something like respect. Take your time, sweetheart. Ember wiped her eyes. After the hospital, Derek moved me to the storage room. He put a lock on the door, on the outside, so I couldn't get out. He locked the refrigerator and the cabinet so I couldn't eat. He said I was too expensive. He said I cost too much money. Did he ever explain why he was doing this? I heard him on the phone one night when he thought I was asleep. He was laughing. He said he'd taken out insurance. He said I was worth more dead than alive. He said he just needed to wait for the right time. Martinez looked at the judge. No further questions, Your Honor. Torres looked at Hartley. Defense. Hartley stood up slowly. He looked at Ember. For a long moment, he didn't say anything. Then no questions, Your Honor. He sat down. Torres nodded. The witness may step down. Ember picked up her crutches and made her way back to Stone. He caught her in his arms and held her tight. You did amazing, he whispered. I'm so proud of you. She buried her face in his shoulder. Is it over? Almost. Torres folded her hands. Based on the evidence presented today, the defense's motion to dismiss is denied. Derek made a sound, a choked, desperate noise. Furthermore, Torres continued, I'm adding charges of first-degree murder and in the death of Lisa Manning. Mr. Manning, you are remanded to custody without bail pending trial. Two bailiffs moved toward Derek. He stood up so fast his chair fell over. This is wrong. This is all lies. That little bitch is lying about everything. I never touched her. Mr. Manning, Torres' voice was ice. One more outburst, and I'll add contempt charges. Derek's lawyer grabbed his arm. Derek, stop. You're making it worse. Making it worse. My life is over because of her, because of that crippled little... Mr. Manning. The bailiffs reached him. They grabbed his arms. They started to pull him toward the side door. Derek fought them. This isn't over, he screamed. You hear me? This isn't over. I'll get out. I'll find you. I'll finish what I... The door slammed shut behind him. His screaming faded into the distance. The courtroom was silent. Torres took a breath. Ms. Martinez, I commend you and your team for the thorough investigation. This case has exposed serious failures in our child protective services system. I will be recommending a full review. Thank you, Your Honor. Torres looked at Stone. Armolette McKenna. Stone stood up. Your Honor, I understand you have applied for guardianship of Ember Manning. Yes, ma'am. I've reviewed your file. You have a criminal record. Yes, ma'am. Nothing in the last 10 years. You're a member of a motorcycle club that law enforcement considers a criminal organization. Yes, ma'am, but we're also the ones who saved this little girl when the system failed her. Torres was quiet for a moment. Then she almost smiled. Yes, you are. She looked at Ember. Sweetie, do you want to live with Mr. McKenna? Ember nodded. More than anything. Why? Because he's my dad. He saved me. He believed me when nobody else did. He makes me breakfast and tucks me in at night, and he never locks any doors, and he says I can eat whenever I want. Her voice cracked. He's the only person who ever treated me like I mattered. Torres's eyes glistened. I'm going to fast-track the guardianship process. Given the exceptional circumstances, I see no reason to delay. Mr. McKenna, congratulations. You're going to be a father. Stone couldn't speak. He couldn't breathe. Ember turned to look at him. Her face split in a smile bigger than any he'd ever seen. Did you hear that? Oh, you're my dad. For real, it's official. He grabbed her and hugged her so tight she squeaked. Yeah, kid. He managed. I heard. The courtroom erupted in applause. Brick was on his feet clapping. The brothers joined in. Sarah Chen was crying. Martinez was smiling. Even the security guards by the door were applauding. Judge Torres banged her gavel, but she was smiling too. Court is adjourned. Stone carried Ember out of the courtroom. The brothers surrounded them in the hallway, slapping Stone's back, ruffling Ember's hair, telling her how brave she was, how proud they were, how she was family now. She looked up at Stone with tears streaming down her face. Is it really over? Yeah, kid, it's really over. He's never coming back. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. He's never getting near you again. She wrapped her arms around his neck. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Ember. 6 months later, they stood on the porch of Stone's house, watching the sun set over the mountains. Ember was stronger now, healthier. She'd gained weight and her cheeks had color. She was enrolled in a new school where she had friends, real friends, kids who didn't care about her missing leg or her past. She was getting fitted for a prosthetic next week. The club had raised money for it. Every brother had contributed. Tommy's wife had organized a charity ride that brought in more than anyone expected. The whole community had come together for one little girl who'd been thrown away. Stone, Ember said. Yeah, I had a dream last night. Good or bad? Good. I dreamed about Mom. She was smiling. She said she was proud of me. She said thank you. Stone's throat tightened. For what? For being brave. For finding you. For not giving up. She leaned against his side. I think she sent you to me. I think she knew I needed someone, and she sent you. Stone put his arm around her. Maybe she did. Do you believe that people can watch over us after they're gone? I don't know, but I know your mom loved you, and I think love like that doesn't just disappear. Ember was quiet for a moment. I'm not scared anymore, she said. For the first time since Mom died, I'm not scared. Good. I know bad things can still happen. I know the world isn't always safe, but I also know that no matter what happens, you'll be there. And the brothers, and everyone who helped us. She looked up at him. That's what family means, right? People who show up, people who fight for you. Yeah, Stone said. That's exactly what it means. A rumble in the distance. Motorcycles. Brick's truck came up the gravel road followed by a dozen bikes. Today was Ember's birthday. Her real birthday this time. 7 years old. The brothers had planned a party, cake and presents, and a whole afternoon of celebration. Ember watched them approach, her face glowing. They came, she said, and they all came. Of course they did. Your family. She smiled. That smile that had been so rare and fragile in the diner that first night. Now it came easy. Now it lit up her whole face. I have a family, she whispered. A real family. Yeah, kid, you do. Brick's truck pulled up. He got out carrying a massive purple cake. Happy birthday, little one. The brothers parked their bikes and surrounded her, singing happy birthday, bang, off-key and loud enough to be heard 3 counties over. Ember laughed, real laughter, the kind that came from deep in her chest, the kind that meant joy and safety and belonging. Stone stood back and watched. This little girl who'd walked into a diner on one leg, begging strangers for a place to sit. This little girl who'd been rejected by everyone until she found the one person who said yes. This little girl who'd survived a monster and come out the other side stronger than anyone had a right to expect. She was his daughter now, his family, his reason for everything. And as the brothers cheered and the cake was cut and Ember blew out her candles, Stone made a silent vow. Whatever came next, whatever challenges lay ahead, he would be there. For every nightmare, every triumph, every ordinary day that meant everything because they got to spend it together. That's what fathers did. That's what family meant. And Stone finally understood why he'd spent so many years feeling like something was missing. He'd been waiting for a little girl to walk into his life and change everything, waiting for the chance to become the man he was always supposed to be, waiting for Ember. She looked up at him from the center of the celebration cake, frosting on her nose, purple balloons in her hand. Dad, yeah, this is the best birthday ever, he smiled. Just wait until next year. She grinned and turned back to her friends, her new brothers and sisters, her family, And Stone stood there on his porch surrounded by the people who'd helped him save her, watching his daughter celebrate being alive. This was the moment he'd been waiting for his whole life. He just hadn't known it until now. Some people are born into families, others find them along the way, and sometimes on a cold Saturday night in a crowded diner, family finds you. All you have to do is say yes. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. There are more Embers out there, more children waiting for someone to say yes. And if you see something wrong, say something. One person can make a difference. One moment of courage can change a life. Comment family is a choice if you believe that the people who show up are the ones who matter most. And remember, sometimes the scariest looking person in the room is the one with the biggest heart.